Hey everyone, welcome back to Rebirth Your Mind Podcast. I am your host, Raylene Torres, and today we're diving into a really powerful topic, personality needs. I do want to share, I have a sore throat right now, so if I do sound a little bit different or a little bit off, that is why, but I am sipping on some tea, so hopefully that gives me some relief throughout the episode. We're going to be exploring what personality needs are, how they connect to our basic human needs, and why it's so important to create strategies to meet them, both for yourself and within your relationship. I also want to share why communicating your needs to your partner can prevent so much unnecessary conflict and frustration. We'll touch on the subconscious layer too. If you carry beliefs like I am unworthy or I'll be abandoned, it can feel almost impossible to ask for what you need. That's why reprogramming those core wounds is such an essential step. And if you haven't listened yet, check out my episode on core wounds when I break that down in detail. So let's start here. Every single one of us shares the 6 basic human needs. These are certainty, our need for safety, stability, and comfort; uncertainty, our need for variety, excitement, and surprise; significance, our need to feel important, unique, and valued; love and connection, our need to feel close, supported, and emotionally connected; growth, our need to learn, expand, and evolve; contribution, our need to give beyond ourselves and make an impact. These are universal. They're like the roots of a tree. Without them, none of us could really survive. But here's the thing. The way you experience and prioritize these needs is totally unique, and that's what we call personality needs. Think of personality needs like the branches and leaves of that same tree. We all share the same roots, but your branches will look different than mine. So here's an example. 2 people both share the basic need for love and connection, but one person's personality need might be having deep emotional late night talks. Another person's might be receiving physical touch or spending consistent quality time. Same root, different expression. That difference, that uniqueness is your personality need. Now, once you know your personality needs, the next step is creating strategies to meet them. Here's what I mean. If certainty is a top need for you, maybe your strategy is setting up routines that keep you grounded and safe. If uncertainty is high on your list, your strategy might be planning a new adventure each week or mixing up your environment so life stays exciting. If your top need is growth, your strategy might be signing up for courses, reading, journaling, or pushing yourself into situations that challenge you, or even listening to this podcast. The point is, you don't just sit around hoping people will guess what fills your cup. You create a plan for yourself so that your needs are consistently met. So that is why I encourage, learning about your personality needs, what is specific to you, how you can create strategies daily in your life so that you're meeting those needs and you're feeling fulfilled at the end of the day. Because what happens is if we're not meeting our needs, they're always going to be there, but we're going to feel like shit. We're going to feel shitty. We're not going to feel good. We're not going to feel happy. We're going to feel like something's missing. And if anyone can relate to that, that's what's happening is your need is not getting met. This is where it gets really powerful in relationships. So many arguments or feelings of disconnection come from unspoken personality needs. One partner expects the other to just know, but that's like asking someone to read your mind. It's unfair to you and it's unfair to them. Imagine this. Your top need is significance. You thrive when your efforts are recognized, but your partner's love language is providing certainty. They work hard, pay the bills, make sure things are stable. To them, that's love. But to you, it doesn't land because what you're really craving is acknowledgement. Now, instead of fighting about the little stuff, imagine if you said, one of my top needs is significance. And when you acknowledge what I do, I feel so valued and loved. Do you see the difference? You're giving them the roadmap and you've made it clear. When you know your personality needs and communicate them, you take the guessing game off the table. You give your partner a chance to actually show up for you in the way that matters most. Here's the piece, though, that most people miss. Even when you know your personality needs, it can feel really hard to speak them out loud if you're carrying subconscious beliefs, what I call core wounds. If you have the belief, I am unworthy, how likely are you to ask your partner to meet your need for love and connection? Probably not very likely. Deep down, you might feel like you don't deserve it. If you have a belief of I'll be abandoned, asking for more emotional closeness can feel terrifying because you fear the other person will pull away. This is why I always say knowing your personality needs is important, but doing the root work is just as important. If your needs are the cup, your core wounds are the cracks. You can pour water in, but it won't hold until those cracks are healed. So if you haven't yet, go listen to my episode on core wound reprogramming, because that's where we start repairing the cup so your needs can actually be met. Now, let me give you a couple of tools you can use this week to start uncovering what your personality needs are. One way to start identifying your personality needs is through reflection. Think about a recent moment where you felt deeply fulfilled and alive. What was happening? Which of the 6 human needs was being met in the moment? So, was it growth, contribution, significance, uncertainty, the desire for change, love and connection, certainty, the desire to feel safe and secure? And then think about a recent moment where you felt drained, resentful, or empty. Which need wasn't being met? Was it growth, the desire to grow, contribution, the desire to give, significance, uncertainty, the desire for change, love and connection, certainty, the desire to feel safe and secure? So write down a few of these examples over the next week, and you're going to start to notice patterns. Those patterns are going to point you towards your top personality needs. Another tool is to ask yourself, if only blank happened, I would feel more fulfilled, loved, or at peace. So, for example, if only my partner noticed my small wins, I'd feel valued. That's going to point to significance. Or, if only I had more time to try new things, I'd feel alive. That's going to point to uncertainty, the desire for change or exploration. So pay attention to the answers that come up when you ask yourself these questions. They're going to reveal your top personality needs. So here's the big picture. Your basic human needs are universal. Your personality needs are personal. They're the unique ways you feel fulfilled. When you know them, you can create strategies to meet them for yourself. When you communicate them, your partner doesn't have to guess. They can love you better. And when you heal your subconscious wounds, you feel safe and worthy enough to actually express your needs. That's how you stop walking around with an empty cup and start living from a place of fulfillment. Now, if you want to go even deeper, I offer one-on-one sessions where we walk through a guided questionnaire that identifies your exact top 5 personality needs. It's like having a personal blueprint for what makes you feel most alive and fulfilled, and it also gives you the language to clearly communicate those needs in your relationships. I'll leave the link in the description if that feels aligned for you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember, your needs matter. They're not too much. They're not a burden. They are your roadmap to living a fulfilled life and creating healthy relationships. Until next time, keep honoring yourself and rebirthing your mind.